Okay, welcome back. This is part 3 of lesson 3.3. Okay, so now we want to look at taking all of our forms, slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form, and being able to um, use those forms to, for example, find the y-intercept, find the x-intercept, find a coordinate that's or an x or a y value that's part of a coordinate. So let's look at the equations that we have. All right, so first one, we're going to start out with slope-intercept form. Y equals 1 half x minus 2. All right, first question, what is the y-intercept? Well, it's right here in the slope-intercept form. So we know that the y-intercept is negative 2. Okay, very simple. The x-intercept. How do we find the x-intercept? Well, the x-intercept is going to be whatever x is when y is 0. So if I put in 0 for y, I then have 0 equals 1 half x minus 2. I can add 2 to both sides, divide both sides by a half. The x-intercept is going to be 4. Okay. Now down here, we want to find some unknowns and some coordinates. What will x be when y is 12? Well, it's pretty simple. If we take 12, put it into our equation, we can put that in here for y. So y equals 12. Again, add 2 to both sides. So 12 plus 2 is going to be 14. And then divide both sides by 1 half. 14 divided by half is 28. So that's our other coordinate. Same thing here. We've got 4, and then we want to know what y is. So instead, now we can substitute the 4 in for x, because that's our x value. 1 half times 4 is going to be 2, and then 2 minus 2 is 0. And that should make sense because we said earlier that the x-intercept is 4, and there's x. X is 4. So the intercept should be where x is 4 and y is 0. Okay? All right, let's look at how this process works for a point-slope form. So here's our point slope form. Y minus 4 equals 2 times x plus 6. All we have to do is, so we want to first find what would be the y-intercept. Well, let's think about this. We know that to find the y-intercept, we know that when we know what the y-intercept is, that's what this y is going to represent, because we already have a y here. When this y is the y-intercept, what does x have to be? Well, that's pretty simple. X has to be 0. Okay, 0 plus 6. Okay, and so now I can take 0 plus 6, that's just 6, times 2 is 12. And then I can take 12, I can add 4 to both sides. And so y is going to equal 16. And that would be the intercept, the y-intercept. Okay, how about the x-intercept? X-intercept, very similar to what we did here, only now we want to find x. And we know when we're trying to find the x-intercept, what is y supposed to be? Y should be 0. So 0 minus 4 equals 2 times x plus 6. And then we go through. So really 0 minus 4, all that is, that's just negative 4. Okay? And then that's going to be equal to, let's see, 2. We got to distribute the 2 through. So we have 2x plus 6. Add those to each side. And if I solve for x, let's see that x is equal to negative 8. Okay. Now down here, again, we want to find these points. So when y is 12, what is x? So again, we know that y is 12, so we know that we have 12 minus 4, and that is equal to 2 times x plus 6, which again is 2x plus 12, and then we solve for that, and we would find that x in this case is negative 2. Therefore, our coordinate is going to be negative 2 and 12. And then if we want to find the other one. If x is 4, what are we going to have? Well, once again, y minus 4 is equal to 2 times, and then I'm going to plug 4 into that equation. 4 plus 6. Okay? 4 plus 6. So that means I now have y minus 4 is equal to, well, 4 plus 6 is 10 times 2. That is 20. I'm going to add to both sides. So y is going to equal 24. So our coordinate would be 4 and 24. Okay, and that's how we can find some coordinates using the point slope form.